Hey everybody, let me know if mic's all good. I know there's been some audio issues. You could just throw something in the chat just to make sure, and then we'll get started here. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, today I want to basically go over my thoughts. As I'm sure some of you guys have seen, I haven't had too high of conviction on what's happening here. I don't think anyone really has. I've seen, half the people that I see are, calling for the next leg, completely bullish, say that, this is the last shakeout. And there's other people that are, rightfully being cautious, kind of like I am right now. There's a lot of different things I'm gonna present today, and this stream will be a little bit different in the sense that I just want to give more of a view into like how I'm viewing the market, and for you guys to kind of see the data I'm looking at, and to see why it is a more confusing time than usual. Last stream I started it off by telling you guys that if you were confused or felt like you didn't know what was happening next, this is arguably one of the most complicated, confusing times I've even seen in the market. More so just because we have so many different external factors that are potentially, affecting price action. And as we can see with the chart here, Bitcoin put in these 4 dojis here. I'm not sure if you guys saw my post. Let me see if I could throw that indicator. I basically made a script that checked basically the dojis. A doji is usually categorized as where the body is 10% less than the total candle size. So I made this script here that basically gave me a percent of the body, and I went back in history, and if we could just look right here, basically drew a line right here below the 10% mark, and never before in history have we closed 4 candles below that 10% mark. I went back the 15 years in history, and that to me proves that this market is very confused. This market doesn't even know like what's going on next, to put it the best way. And as we can see, we've had an engulfing candle after engulfing candle after those 4 dojis printed. So it just proves that this is a very interesting time, and I think we're getting down to the wire here. So as usual, feel free to ask questions throughout the stream. Towards the end, if you guys want me to look at specific tickers, I will do that. I'm going to make this more focused just on Bitcoin, because honestly, as we see, most altcoins are not doing anything, and they're all just kind of waiting for Bitcoin. So that's going to be my focus today, just breaking down a few different factors of what I see on Bitcoin and the kind of the scenarios I see ahead. So feel free to throw in questions just about the general analysis, but if you guys do have specific tickers, then just leave those towards the end. I'll be glad to kind of cover those. The first thing I want to share here is I posted this last night. I was looking, I'm sure you guys have known, I'm very big into VWAPs. I think VWAPs are probably one of the most powerful tools. A lot of prop traders, and not prop firm like the ones where you pay $300 or whatever to get a funded account. Actual prop trading firms, that have trading desks in New York. Almost all of those traders use VWAPs, and that's probably not a coincidence. There's reasons for that, and I believe VWAPs. The VWAP suite I created. If you guys haven't added that, you could just look up VWAP suite, and it should come up right under TraderView 2 here. Those, and then also anchored VWAPs, which is a drawing tool. Those are super powerful. So if you have not really dove into those, I would definitely recommend it. I think that they have really increased my profitability and just overall approach to the market. So with that being said, we have this 3-month rolling VWAP here. So a rolling VWAP means that it kind of takes a look back window where it's rolling, so it doesn't reset. Compared to some VWAPs, they reset every day, every week, every month. This never resets. It just continues to look back 3 months and kind of, it's more like a moving average, so to say. And we could see, look at how much price has been respecting that the last few days. If we really zoom in here, look at this is a step line here. So it gives you the raw data instead of smoothing it out. We've like rejected each of our candles right on top of that. So, for the first time since the election, losing the 3-month VWAP, it doesn't always mean we're just gonna, plummet, but it's definitely a sign where it's like, okay, we probably should watch out below. And if we go back and just look at, history, we could see we kind of played around with it a bit here. Right when we lost it, quick fake out. And then we came back up, of course. And then right here was a more important time where we had the 50-day EMA, the 100-day EMA, and the quarterly VWAP right here. When price lost all those, we had a pretty big pullback here, about 19%. If we saw a 19% pullback here, we're looking at 76K. I'm not calling for 76K. I'll get a little bit more into that. But even if we go back, to 2021, look what happened when we lost the 50-day, 100-day, and quarterly. Very similar concept. We had a 40% pullback. Same concept here. Price held it well, and then we could see price kind of lost both of those, rejected them, lost this, and sure enough, another 40% pullback. So historically speaking, these are pretty decent indicators. I'm not huge on indicators in general. I would even consider a VWAP an indicator. So all it does is look at volume and price, which aren't lagging indicators. Moving averages are definitely more lagging indicators. So those are, you need to use those more for trends. Like I never look at crosses or anything like that. It's not how I really use them. It's more just for trend confluence. But we could see, we held it here, same concept. And here we were grinding in between all of that. Same concept right here. You could see did that one more retest, and then sure enough, 30% pullback. And we could even go back to 2017. When we lost all these, same concept, 40% pullback. So of course, it's not going to be like a perfect indication. But what it does is it shows us confluence that, there's a lot of important levels right here. If they're all coinciding within basically, we could look 98 to, 98.4. So within $400, we have three major levels. And, if we just look at this as face value, this is a time to be cautious. This is definitely a time to be cautious. People that are on X that want to shout out, all about like this is the last shakeout, up only. That's fine, but those people aren't traders, in my opinion. Most of those people are not traders. They're just, they're there to share analysis. That's fine, completely fine. Not everyone has to trade, but as a trader and even as a shorter term investor, you need to manage risk the most. I don't need to manage my ego to say that I called the next leg when right now things don't look that good. And I'm going to go into some areas. And of course, when I end this stream, we could do this right now. And I said yesterday, if we regain this, we're back in safe area, in my opinion. We could have upward pushes back to 100, 101. We could see what happens there. But as of right now, I don't see the value in just being a perma bull if you prioritize risk, which, for the people that are watching, if you trade, you probably know that risk management is the most important part about trading. The most important part about being a trader is to keep yourself in the game. So right now, if I wasn't being cautious, I would be blindsided if we see this. I would be completely blindsided. And if you just look at the general structure, it doesn't scream bullish. It does not scream bullish at all. We spent 12 days grinding between 100 and 94. It's like, where are buyers at? And I put this auction market theory up here. I'm going to make a video about this pretty soon because I find this to be a very, very useful tool, and it revolutionized how I viewed markets, like really revolutionized how I view markets. And, I won't go too in depth here, but essentially, if you think about markets like an auction, you have bidders, and what are the bidders trying to do? They're trying to get the cheapest price, right? And then you have the auctioneer, and what is he trying to do? He's trying to get the highest price. So when there's new information that comes in, that's either going to cause the bidders to continue to raise their bids, or it's going to cause the auctioneer to basically lower their bids, or lower their ask, should I say? And that's kind of what makes a market, that's how a market is made. Is you have asks and you have bids, and those are buyers and sellers, and they're always fighting for the best price. So I sit here and I ask myself, what is the market waiting for to push higher? We've had 50, 60 days grinding between 110 and 90K. It's like, what are the bulls waiting for? That's my question when I look at this structure. What are the bulls waiting for? It's been a pretty headline driven market recently. We've had crazy news with these tariffs and Trump doing this, Trump doing that. The markets have been crazy about it. And I just sit here and say, it's like, we've had all this good news. We have, an SEC that's fully embracing crypto. We have, Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump shilling crypto. We have, You know, David Sachs saying we're going to have crypto regulation within 6 months. Like, these are things that if that news came out back here, you know, we would see massive moves, even anywhere in this picture, in my opinion. And it's like, why is that now muted? You know, why is that muted? And here I'm gonna jump over here and kind of show you guys why it's muted. It's muted because we've seen an enormous amount of selling up here. So contrary to all the hopium you see on, you know, on X, there has been an enormous amount of selling that's happened up here. And honestly, it's been getting absorbed pretty well, to say the least. We could see here that, you know, we've had about 12 billion net market sold. So this is cumulative volume delta right here between Binance, Coinbase, Bybit, and OKX, the four largest spot markets. And this essentially is taking a tally of all of the market orders. So if you look at all the market orders and you add them together and you see what the sum is negative 12 billion, meaning there's been negative $12 billion more market sold since we hit 99K than bought. That doesn't mean, you know, nobody's buying up here, because you could have, you know, limit buyers. If I put a bid in at 94K, you know, that's not going to register on the cumulative volume delta, because that's called a passive order. It's a passive means of entering. The cumulative volume delta shows us the active and aggressive means of entering. And for that matter, it's been, you know, 90 days where people have been relentlessly market buying. We could see when we had a little bit of market selling. We could see when we had a little bit of market buying. You know, we had a nice uptrend of market buying for about 16 days, about 2 billion net market bought. And we see what price did. It made its entire move. It made that 50% move. Basically, since then, it's been chopped, you know. And why this is interesting, guys, is because if we look back at the entire consolidation throughout the summer, 211 days, you know, if we look back and just take a tally of the market sold throughout that, that's only 6 billion. So you're telling me, you know, 6 billion was net market sold here. And then we've had double the amount net market sold, over 12 billion, and price it looks like this. So what that means, guys, is that we've had a passive buyer on the other side. And that passive buyer, in my opinion, has been some institutions, a little bit of ETFs, and mainly Sailor. So the reason why we have not been able to break higher is because people aren't really interested in buying up here. And we could see, I mean, this is like the steepest slope I've even seen on the CVD since 69K. You know, I mean, you could just compare the slopes here. I mean, pretty decent slope. And each time we had actual market buying, we could tell. And why this is interesting is because we could see what happened here. This is why I was super bullish when we had that 38K pullback after the ETF came out. Why? Because look at all of this. We had a very strong uptrend in the CVD. You know, 5 billion over 67 days. So look at that and then compare that to this. You know, I hope that makes sense. If that's confusing to you guys, let me know. Would love to elaborate on that. But as usual, you know, I'm here to educate you guys and to give you my view of the market. And my view of the market is there's a lot of people that are selling. There is a lot of people that are selling. Contrary to what you may see with, you know, people that talk in all caps, you know, Bitcoin's going to the moon, everybody's buying, you know, retail's here. It's not the case, because, you know, we've seen more selling since we hit 100K than we've seen basically since 69K in 2021. You could just see the slope here. I mean, it's crazy. It's honestly pretty crazy to me. And I'm just preferencing that, you know, this is why Bitcoin has not moved higher. You know, this is why Bitcoin has not moved higher. It's that simple. And to add in a little bit is, you know, the ETFs haven't even taken in that much money. We could look since, you know, December 18th, 9.5 billion. You know, about 2 billion has been bought since basically this started going down. So they've absorbed 2 billion out of the 12 billion, you know. And I just wanted to throw that in here because, you know, ETFs, they've kind of been flattening out. January 24th, you know, we're about 3 weeks after. You see this white line here is the total of the flows. It's been flattening out pretty well. And then if I pop over here, you know, this is where the selling's been happening from. This is a metric that covers long-term holders. So a long-term holder is someone that's held Bitcoin for 139 days. You know, anyone who has Bitcoin in their wallet, on chain in their wallet, for more than 139 days, That's what's considered a long-term holder. And look what happens each time we reach a peak, or at least we start going towards a peak. Long-term holders start selling off drastically. Look, they own 75% of the supply here. At the 20K peak in 2018, 2017, they only own 55% of the supply. And then you see when the bear market starts, what do? They start accumulating again. They keep holding. And then right when the bull market kicks off, they start selling. Same exact thing has been happening right here. So we wonder why. It's like long-term holders had 83% of the supply for the election. Now they only have about 75% of the supply. So, once again, people that talk in all caps, those people, you be aware of those who talk in all caps on X. Those people usually are pushing you guys hopium, and they won't look at data like this. And this doesn't mean that Bitcoin's doomed, but what it does mean is there's been a lot of selling that's been happening. A lot of selling that's been happening. And if you're confused why we haven't went higher, I'm just here to kind of show you guys, my interpretation of why we haven't. So yeah, feel free to ask questions, guys. Let me see if you guys have anything here. What do you think about Bitcoin dominance? I'll cover that here shortly. You're saying I shouldn't put my life saving in CZ's dog coin. Yeah, maybe if he launched his own, sure. But, considering there's probably 100 of them, no. Ethereum ETF staking. Yeah, that was funny when that came out. Everyone was doing victory laps. Very, very funny thing to watch, honestly. Think about it like this, guys. Who is going to want to have, hold Ethereum for their 3%? Well, I don't even know what it is. 3%, 4%, 5%, staking yield. When the underlying is down 50%. It's like, it's like, why wouldn't they just, enter into treasury yield and get a pretty much a risk-free 5%, 4.5%. So as of right now, I mean, that Ethereum ETF staking, that doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest. I mean, maybe if Ethereum was like, looked like XRP or Bitcoin, sure. Maybe it'd be a lot more attractive when you have the underlying going up hundreds of percent. And then you also have, an APY on top. Great. That's attractive to some people. But otherwise, Ethereum to me, I could care less about Ethereum. I've been bearish on it for some time. I thought it would break out in December. I had some option calls, completely flopped on its face. And since then, I'm just going back to what I've thought for years, that Ethereum is dying a slow death. And it needs to, it needs to make a big pivot. I'm not saying it's completely over, but, it still has hope. But we need to see something crazy. And maybe that Ethereum ETF staking will cause that. But as of right now, it's like, put yourself in anybody's shoes. Who wants to hold the underlying that's down 30, 40% in a month, even if they're getting 5% yield? It's not really too. Maybe BlackRock is selling put options to keep prices low till they can buy on the ETF side. I don't know if BlackRock is selling put options. That's a little bit of a conspiracy. You guys, we have to realize as well, the people that talk in all caps, they say BlackRock's buying. BlackRock is not buying Bitcoin, guys. BlackRock is buying Bitcoin for their clients so they could fulfill their ETF flows. So I wouldn't look too much into it. I was promised XRP 589. I think we all were. Oh, I think we all were. But yeah, people that talk in all caps, it's not even a joke. Be aware of them. If their whole post is in all caps, probably just look away. Can you compare the total put options sold in the same period of chop? I really don't analyze option data. Maybe I'll get more into that, but I still believe this market is driven by the perpetual market. I don't believe that this market is driven by options. So yeah, then the other thing here is, just one other view we could see, perp and spot have been selling off heavily. We could see when, once we reach this 90K region right here, there's been just an enormous amount of selling here. So it just makes you question, what's going to make these people switch? Apply the auction theory to it. We apply the auction theory to the current price. Sure, we could just keep going up. I mean, I shouldn't say keep. Sure, we could just do this and then be on our way. I'm very happy. I would rather have that happen. So don't take me here as this permeable that wants to see prices fall. No, I want to see prices go up, of course. And that's why, at this point, I have such a clear invalidation here for a more cautionary short thesis. Is if we regain this level, I'll be more neutral, risk on for, a potential rebound. I'm completely fine with me. I don't care to be the one who has this big ego, picking this bottom. I've done that before. Right here, I was mega long. Right here, I was mega long. And of course, it played out perfect. Right here, I was mega long. But right here, we don't see the same stuff, guys. And once again, this stream is for you guys to kind of understand my thought process here, because I post a lot of random stuff, and I hope that you guys can understand me being someone who's looked at this market now for 8 years. It's like, what am I looking at? And that's kind of what I'm showing you guys is what I'm looking at is, massive amount of selling. We could see crazy amount of selling, billions and billions. We didn't see that selling right here. I was bullish here because we had a lot of good spot flows. Same thing down here. I knew that that was going to be the low. Right here, though, it's a much different scenario, in my opinion. So, hope that makes sense, everybody. So yeah, on to that. I'm trying to think here what else on Bitcoin. I guess one other thing to kind of, keep it in the broad view is something I've been talking about here is the previous cycle all-time high on total. This has been something that I've referenced here for a long, long time. We've seen this here for a long time. This was the same concept right here. It was also the inauguration, which as of right now, we haven't really seen that same reaction. Pretty sure that was the previous high. Oh no, that was not the previous high. Well, anyways, this was a similar retest of the previous high we could see. And, we've never lost the previous high after we regained it. So this is another thing where it's like, if I sit back and think to myself, okay, price broke above 2021 high. We've consolidated now for 3 months and bulls have been inactive. If we lose this level, how is that bullish? You know what I'm trying to say there is like, if I sit and just look at this and I say, okay, we regain this level, consolidated above, great, and then we lose it. It's like, to me, that's not something we want to see, at least for, shorter term, midterm bullish type of stance. If we accept below this all-time high, which, I mean, at this point, we're basically in a bear flag about to do it. We accept below, we could do something like that, great. And I'm open to that. That might be all we need. But if we accept below this, and especially this VWAP right here, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're in for it, guys. When I say we're in for it, we're in for probably a boring next few months of chop and consolidation and, no more higher prices in the short term. So, that's something I'm really keeping my eyes on. And then here for Bitcoin, the one thing I wanted to add on before we move on here is, if I look here and I place my, volume profile on this, we could see, auction theory states that, when we break from balance, balance is considered this right here. This is balance. We're right in balance right here. Fair value, we should call it. Fair value is, the innermost value of the value area. Price usually goes back to previous value area. And why that's concerning here, guys, is because if we look here, and then if I readjust this one here to the election, we can see, where is the previous value area? We never established value anywhere between 86 and 75. 86 and 75 was a very illiquid move. You could see how fast price moved through that. So in my best case is we do drop down here. Whether we need to do another fake out or it happens right now, we want to see prices stabilize at the 85 to 86 level at minimum. At minimum, we don't want to see anything below that, because if we do go below that, historically speaking, price is going to go right back to previous value area. And of course, at that point, it's like we round trip the entire election pump. That would be that would be where it's like, people are pretty convinced that the top's in. And if you're confused what that means, let me give another example here. We could see, similar concept here. We could see how fast we moved up in 2021. So if we look here, and we draw a value area throughout this entire structure, look what happened here. So we could see how we had, value area here, value area here, value area here. We can call those fair value areas. We can see this cliff here of value. Right when we fully lost that area and we flipped that to resistance, what happened? We filled all the way through to previous value area. You can see how this was the previous value area right here. See how there's nothing here? Just air. So when we move up through air, we usually move down through air. And you can see it's like, if I take the bars pattern right here and just kind of inverse this, basically the exact same thing, just opposite. It was basically the exact same thing, just opposite here. And that's kind of why I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, Bitcoin could come down to 86K, 85K, and it could be good. You know, it could be completely fine. I think that that would be a healthy thing. But if we lose that 85K region, I'm going to be in the really watch out below scenario. All because we never established value in between, you know, the 73 to 85. And that's proven here with that value area. We could see it's just complete error. So let me know if that makes sense to you guys. Probably going to do some more education here on, you know, value areas and volume profiles and TPO charts and things like that. But, you know, this is something that it's like, okay, we just have to be cautious of this type of stuff. So, you know, I look at this, and one last thing here before we bounce over to the order book, I want to show you something else I posted. Is, you know, we also still have that exact same line in the sand, which is this top trend line. This top trend line right here, we've been consolidating above, and historically speaking, if that holds, that is a bullish scenario. You know, if this does hold and we start doing that, that's where price does go parabolic. But of course, that also coincides with exactly where we're at right now. It's like, if we do lose this though, we pop back down to a 1-day chart, we do lose that, you know, that's where it's like, okay, we need to really watch out, because not only are we losing the 50-day, not only are we losing the 100-day, which it looks like, I don't even know, something's been going on here with TradingView. It doesn't even, sometimes it delays my writing there, but there's the 100-day and the quarterly VWAP and a multi-year trend line. If we lose all that, and let me add one more piece of confluence in here, you guys will like this one. You guys have heard me talk about this, and the election VWAP. Look at that orange line. Look how perfect that is. You know, this has held us now for 90 days as well. You know, what happens when we lose all 4 of those levels and this? To me, that's where I'm going to be bearish, you know, and that's why right now I'm in a super cautionary stance. You know, I'm short-sighted until we could regain those levels. It's that simple. So yeah, let me see, catch up with the chat here for a second. Would ETH recover if they reduce fees? I don't believe so. They can't reduce fees, because if activity spikes, you know, the fees are going to spike right there with it. We just need to stop relying on Bitcoin to pump. Yeah, you know, but tell the whole market that. It's something we could only hope for. Want to buy more XRP? Do you see price going down in the short term? Sorry if you covered it. Well, if you know, if you missed the the last 30 minutes of me talking, I'm very caution, right? I mean, I'm in a very cautionary stance right now for all the reasons that I showed. Like I said, I'm not just trying to show you guys opinion. I'm giving you all the reasons. So it's like, if price just rallies back up, that's fine. I have my levels where it's like, okay, you know, we'll show a more bullish view then. But I'll cover XRP more in a bit here. Stay away from meme coins, because quantum computing is going to kill it all. That's a whole different story for sure. You know, quantum computing could be a threat to Bitcoin as well. If Bitcoin doesn't keep VWAP, what can we expect? I think it's pretty simple what we can expect. You know, if we fully lose this area, and when I show the when I show the order books here, you guys will see what I mean. I think we're gonna go right down to 85K. Right, that's my best opinion. Sure, we might do one more of those, you know, hang out, try the deviation at 91, 92. Sure, you know, maybe that happens, but at this point, when I show all these levels, it's like, I don't know about that. You know, I'm gonna think that it might just be a wipeout right to 85K. If we do lose that area right now. BlackRock strategy, mass buying Bitcoin. I don't see it dropping below 90K end of year. Am I wrong? You might be wrong. You know, give it another few weeks, and yes, it might very much might, or give it tomorrow even. We could very easily lose 90K 100%. That fair value gaps are a magnet for price mostly. I mean, I don't believe so. Fair value gaps, I don't believe it at all are a magnet for price. Sometimes in the short term, sure, but you know, I gave the whole example right here that this was not a magnet for price. It was a liquidity void that we filled right away. So, you know, when we don't establish previous value there, we usually move right through it. Is a possible supply shock in play? What do you think about liquidity getting allocated to degen meme coins? Does this take away the capital that would be traditionally be more allocated to more established projects. Yeah, I do believe so, but I believe that the meme coin cycle is very much, it's very questionable as for its future. I don't, I could do a whole stream probably on that, so I guess I won't go too much into that. Glad I found you. Thanks for the content. Much appreciated, Joe. Um, it's a possible supply shock in play. I don't see any supply shock right now. Let's put it the simplest way. There's definitely not a supply shock. There's a supply overload, to put it the least. There's a supply overload right now. Oversaturation of coins. Yep, there was 500 1,000. I mean, yeah, 500 1,000 coins in 2017. Now there's over 30 million. Absolutely. So yeah, the next thing here I wanted to cover. So I covered this. I covered the chain exposed. What else here? Let's see. I have the order book here. So this right here is a very important thing. This here is the order. This is something I've been talking about here for a while. Basically, we could look that this is a historical thing where we've had this right here is basically the bid skew and then the ask skew. This is something that is super powerful. I mean, this is something that this is really, really just a very powerful thing. And essentially what it does is it looks at, we could see, it basically takes all of the sell orders and then all of the buy orders within a certain range, and that certain range is the 50%. So right now it's looking at 50% above price, it's looking at 50% below price, and it's taking a tally of all of the resting buy orders and all of the resting sell orders. And this is something I use on a micro scale. It's something I use on short-term scalping. I mean, this is a very powerful indicator. So if you use Trading Light, I made this order book skew here. You could look up in indicators, order book skew, find it from TraderView 2. A very powerful thing. Very, very, very powerful. And what it shows us right now is we're actually at a historical ask skew level. And what that means is that there's a lot more supply, people that want to sell within 50%, than people that want to buy within 50%. And we could see, it's like, look at right here where, where we bottomed at. We bottomed in during after the FTX crash with a 20,000 bid skew. So there was 20,000 more Bitcoin wanting to be sold than wanting to be, wanting to be bought than wanting to be sold within 50% of price. And we could see that marked our, probably our the lowest point Bitcoin will ever see again. And then, we look in the contrary, look where we're at right now. And this is, once again, this stream's to give you guys a view into what I'm looking at myself. And what I'm looking at myself is all of these metrics here. And that's why I'm being cautious here. If I look at this and we could see, look at last time we saw that, right there. Had a nice big pullback right there. What was that? 25% pullback. And then we could see right there, look what happened right when we basically went into this, I call it dangerous level. That dangerous level is below like 2,500. Look at what happened right there. Bam. Bitcoin fell 45%, all by looking at the orders that are sitting in the book. This is such a powerful tool, guys. I mean, incredibly powerful for every time frame. So last week I was like, you know what? Let me really increase the lookout window. Compared to looking at within 10% or 5%, I said, let me look at within 50%. And when I saw this metric here, I was a little bit alarmed. Because the same thing happened right here. We had this is 2,800 more Bitcoin wanting to be sold than bought. Look what happened. I mean, that was, of course, the start of the bear market, we dropped 70% after that. No, I don't necessarily think we're in that scenario. But what this is showing, guys, is there's not a lot of willing buyers right now. And then, if we go back and look right here, same concept. Right when we peaked around that 2,000 level, we had the first drop off, about 15% pullback. And then same thing right here. We could see right when that topped out right there, bam, same concept. On there, 16% pullback. Even right here, we could see right when we kind of threw that up there about, it's about 1,600 more Bitcoin. Look what happened. 65,000 down to about 40K. It was about 25% pullback. Look at us right now. So it's like, if I just sit here and look at this, guys, is it like, do you now understand why it's hard for me to be like mega bullish right here? It's like, if we have something that's only been seen, 1, 2, 3 times, basically the last 4 years, and even look at even here. I think that this was right before COVID. Yeah, look at this, right before COVID. Right in this level, bam. How did that predict us to drop 60%? Look at that, right when we had the first ask skew in months and months. So I hope that you guys find this stuff interesting here. Well, this to me, let me know in the comments. Do you guys find this type of analysis interesting? Because this is the type of stuff that people don't really look at. And this is how you have to generate an edge in the market, is to look at things that people don't look at. And people don't look at this type of stuff. All they look at is cycles and patterns and fractals, and I do that as well. But I like to get a full picture of where we're at. And if I couple this with this as well, I see a massive amount of market selling. And then, we look here and we look at this historical ask skew where, we have, it was just 2,000 more Bitcoin wanting to be sold than bought within a 50% range. It's like, okay, maybe it is okay to be cautious here. I think it's probably pretty reasonable to be cautious here, And this isn't always immediate. Let me be clear about that. That it's not always immediate. Sometimes I've seen when we first flash the skew here, sometimes we could get something like that and even chop around more, and then the real move happens. So I'm still not convinced on time here. Is anyone that has been trying to be convinced on time here? We can see that was, we've done 9 days of absolutely nothing. So it's like, if 9 days ago I was like, hey guys, we're about to break down, I'd still be twiddling my thumbs right now waiting for that. So I just have to play the levels, and, that's kind of the way that I approach the market right now. So yeah, see if you guys had anything else to say about this. Like I said, feel free to throw in some questions. Any questions you guys have, glad to cover them. Awesome analysis, mate. Impressed. Good combination of stuff together. Keep up the good job. Appreciate that, Em. I believe a lot of retail is waiting for solid news regarding adoptions of a given project or token. I feel as when we hear these things, retail and everyone else will pump these projects that will yield. I mean, we can believe that, we could think that and say that. But like I said, we've had so much good news recently, and why hasn't price reacted? In my honest opinion, the best approach, or our best hope in the short term to get a mega push in the very short term, is if the strategic reserve gets approved. The strategic reserve gets approved, I think that's the only piece of news that can just print us within like a few days, a new high. In my opinion, that's the only thing that's going to really do that. Could be wrong there, but it just makes sense to me that that'd be the only news I'd be keeping my eyes peeled on, is, potentially that, and that's probably a little bit of hopium. So yeah, is Bitcoin even in control of retail anymore? No. Bitcoin is not in control of retail. I don't believe so. Maybe in the micro scale sometimes, but on the longer term trends, I don't believe so. Because, put it here, for example, is again, throughout this time, a sailor bought a $740 million of Bitcoin. $740 million, and look what price did. Why? Because he was on the other side of, $2 billion worth of market selling by retail, or, even long-term holders, whatever we want to call them. So yeah, let's see what else. How long have you been in crypto? I've been in crypto now for basically, in May would be 8 years. That was when I really got into it. I learned about it in 2016, but I wasn't big into it. May of 2017 is when I bought my first altcoin. It was called Stratus, for anyone who was around back then. And I think I did a 10x in 2 months, and I was like, wow, this is a really cool market. So here I am now. It's probably been the longest time since then I haven't looked at a Bitcoin chart. It was probably 10 days, or probably a week. So it's been my full time ever since, basically. How market manipulation has been this obvious, impactful? I don't believe anything right here is market manipulation. I don't see any manipulation of Bitcoin, to be honest. This is just a regular market to me. It's how the market is, but the market has, it's grown. It has matured. That's definitely the important thing right here. What's your opinion on HBAR? Oh, can you find the order book skew on TradingView? No, you cannot, unfortunately. It's only on Trading Light here. Only on Trading Light. I know you don't like ADA, but how's it looking? Remind me towards the end here. When I look at the some other altcoins. Feel free to throw in some requests. I'll take a quick look at them. Any ETFs you recommend for the bear scenario? Not necessarily, no. No, is T-Rex 2x inverse Bitcoin daily all right? Sure. I mean, you know, that's if you want to try to short Bitcoin, that's up to you on a long-term scale. You know, historically speaking, you know, 99% of people that try to short Bitcoin lose. So, you know, and that's not for, you know, perp traders that are doing shorter term swings or scalps. You know, of course you could short Bitcoin. But as for buying an ETF for short, you know, that's something I wouldn't necessarily recommend. Because even so, you know, if Bitcoin does do this 85K level retrace like this, I'm probably under the impression that that's probably going to be a low. We'd probably just do that right after. You know, I could be wrong there. If we lose that, I already told you guys what's probably going to happen. We're going to fill this void back down to like 77. But more so, like if we get this 85K run, it's not like I think it's over. I think Bitcoin's definitely going higher. So let me reiterate that. I don't think that this is not, in my opinion, the cycle top. It's a whole different story. Probably can talk about, you know, cycles for a whole nother stream. But I don't believe that the cycle top is in. For that matter, I still see Bitcoin going higher there, at the end of this year, or throughout this year at some point. I definitely can see Bitcoin going higher. So I think that, you know, if we get the 86 push, you know, apply the auction theory to it, just like I said, you know, what's going to happen is probably willing buyers that have been on the sidelines are they're gonna pop in. It's like if you were at an auction and you were interested in buying something, and all of a sudden the auctioneer dropped the bid, you know, by 20%, a bunch of people are probably gonna bid that, right? You know, that's probably what we're gonna see happen. So that's my best opinion of what we see right now. Is Sailor ever gonna sell? Who knows? Who knows if Sailor's ever gonna sell? I really don't have any good response to that. He continues to take out financial leverage and think he's going to become this, you know, this major man, awesome. Good for him. We'll see how that works out. Maybe it'll work out great. This Bitcoin sell-off does play out to mid-80s. How much more do you think big alts will bleed? That's really what I'm about to go into, and that's why this has became a confusing time for me. What are your thoughts on selling into stablecoins and earning 5% in the meantime? It's completely up to you. You know, how much profit are you on? Have you already taken profit? You know, is 5% worth anything to you? That's really what I'd be looking at yourself. But, you know, it's just a time to be cautious, in my opinion. And I gave it's such a quick little level in the short term, you know. We regain this level here, you know, and it's not even, I'm not even looking at that as flip-flopping. It's looking at that as prioritizing risk management. We regain this level here and you know, we're accepting above. That's fine with me. You know, I won't say that we're in an extremely dangerous territory for further downfall. Under this, we are. Under this level, we are in an extremely dangerous territory for further downfall. We get above this, fine. I'd be looking for you know, relief rally type trades. But as of right now, you know, I think I made it pretty clear on how I'm approaching this right now. Been watching AXL done well. Not sure if it's something you want to look at towards the end. Yeah, remind me. I'll be glad to look at that. Do you think they approve strategic reserve before new SEC chairman? Also, do you think new chair confirmed before Bitcoin breaks 85K? I don't really know the timeline on that type of stuff. I haven't been too much on the timeline there, so I can't really tell you with great certainty. So the last thing here I want to cover here on the order book here is, you know, one other concerning thing about Bitcoin is, you know, look at the addresses that are holding over 0.01 Bitcoin. You know, 0.01 is a pretty decent level. So what is that? That'd be 90. That's, what is it? $900? I think that's $900 right now, like $950. So, you know, it's not too much. But look, since January of last year, we haven't reached that high. So that's also proving that, you know, retail is selling. There's not a lot of people being onboarded into this space compared to back then. You look at 2014 to 2017. Look at even 2021 to 22. This is the first time that prices went higher. Uh-oh. See what happened here. Not sure what's going on here. Hopefully that wasn't my internet. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Not sure what's there. Maybe Coinmetrics just got itself out. Exactly sure what's going on there. Maybe they looks like they don't want me to look at this stuff, huh? It's unfortunate. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Well, it looks like Coinmetrics was mad that I was they were mad I was looking at that data right there. Looks like I'm gonna have to re-get it real quick. But basically, you know, the moral of the story is that, you know, contrary to some people's belief, there's been a lot of market selling that's been happening here, and it's like people aren't even accumulating right now. You know? People are not accumulating right now. People are actually selling off. And the other thing I wanted to look at was Ethereum and then XRP as well, because, you know, people only like to look at, you know, the coins that they love, which, you know, that's fine. But we look at Ethereum here as well. Similar concept. I don't know if this was a metric error right here, but like, you know, we saw a great, you know, accumulation of wallets holding over 0.1 Ethereum. So right now that's what, like $280. Really, no one has been accumulating since. So it also makes you question, you know, what's going on there. And the best one for last, I don't know what's up with XRP, but it's like people just keep buying this thing. It's crazy. Look at wallets over 1,000 XRP. You know, look at that. 870,000 to 900. There's almost 100,000 more wallets holding 1 XRP or more, or sorry, 1,000 XRP or more since the election, or not even the election, since December 6th, in the last 2 months. So it's pretty crazy to me. It's like, look at this, you know, super, super crazy stuff. So, all right, let me bounce back here to the charts and cover the last few things I wanted to go over here. Let me catch up with the chat here. Could the drop in Bitcoin kick off alt season? I don't believe so, Firedog. Unfortunately not. I don't think that we're in that I don't think we're in that area, but I will say I could see it where alts hold up better. Yes. Alt season, you know, like alts going crazy as Bitcoin's dropping, no. But Bitcoin dominance falling here, you know, as Bitcoin breaks down, alts holding up more, yes, I could see that happen. I could absolutely see that happen. I definitely can see that happen, and that's something I'll be watching myself, you know. Use fib extensions to help you find possible targets. I don't. I only use fib retracements. I do not. I know that there's some success you could find in that, but personally, I've only really liked to use fib retracements. Is Bitcoin in a Wyckoff distribution pattern? I don't use Wyckoff, so I couldn't give you the best answer on that, unfortunately. You take a look at Sol. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at Sol here. When people say Bitcoin bulls need to defend this area, they really mean Saylor needs to defend this area. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. It's pretty much exactly what we're looking at right now. It's basically exactly right. It's funny you say that, because that's basically exactly what's happening here. You know, I made that post a little bit ago. If we want to just bounce back over to that and just take a look real quick. Basically I was saying that, you know, Saylor was not Saylor and ETFs have been the ones, in my opinion, that have held up this market. I think I just made this post here just a little bit ago. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here. That exactly as I've been saying, there's been a heavier hand passively absorbing the billions of sell pressure. Saylor acquired $740 million in the box, all while we saw 1.5 million of net market, billion of net market selling pressure. And I said, I think that they have been single-handedly holding up this market over the last month or two. And I don't think it's a good thing, of course. And like I said before, you know, this is from the long-term holders. I said that Bitcoin has been shifting in the hands of long-term holders, aka retail, to, you know, a few entities. And it's making the supply more centralized. So, you know, it's definitely something that is not to be taken lightly, in my opinion. Would this be Bitcoin catching up to liquidation pullback? Maybe alts hold. Yeah, I think you might be right there. You know, that's kind of why this is a confusing time for me, and I'm being transparent with you guys, because here I'm about to look at the altcoins. So just give me 1 second here, but I wanted to show. I think it was Total 3 that had a pretty good wick. Yeah, here's Total 3. So we could see here's Total 3, still above the yearly rolling VWAP, which is a good thing. But it's like a wick like this. If Bitcoin does do that breakdown, I'm going to be honest and say that we're probably going to see Total 3 do that. like I could be completely wrong here on my timing and spacing. But like there's a good chance that if Bitcoin does break below that 90K, it does it fiercely and quickly, there is a chance that alts actually don't make a new low. And this is why right after that liquidation event happened, I'm sure you guys saw I was pretty active that night. It was what I think was a Sunday night. And I was like, anytime we've seen this, this has usually been a generational bottom or the start of a bear market. And I said that many times the few days, after that. I said that wicks like this, they're usually the start of a bear market or they are the last fallout before we go higher. So it's like if Bitcoin does break below that 90K, maybe it doesn't need to do 85. Maybe it just needs to do 88. Maybe it does 87. There's a good chance that many of these alts are not going to break those lows. And I've talked to a few people about this, and they can kind of see the same concept here. So we'll see. It might be hopium, but I'm just going to be honest that these wicks are so large. In comparison, Bitcoin's wick is like right here. So it's like if they're both in line, this is Bitcoin now making a new low, but alts can do all of this without making that new low. And then at the same time, it's like the 12-month rolling VWAP. That's not something you want to accept below in a bull trend. This yearly rolling VWAP right here, look at this. Held it the whole time. Look at that. That was perfect support. I mean, beautiful support. I love my VWAPs. They're just beautiful tools. And then right when we lost it, and then we were playing around with it, that was your signal. Get out of this market. Bear flag. Get out. So that's a similar concept right now. It's like if Bitcoin does break that 85K, if it does go down to that 85K, there is a good chance here, guys, that the alts actually won't go lower. Some of them will, absolutely. But some of them with these large wicks, like I think HBAR is a decent one. Yeah, HBAR here. HBAR can come down to this 12-month rolling VWAP and be fine. So here, I'll just cover HBAR for anyone that's curious. Did an analysis here for somebody else. Simply put, HBAR here is now in this noise area. HBAR can drop back down to this level and still be fine. Bull trend can still be intact if we hold this 14 to 15 cent region. And of course, it's a wide range. It's another 30% down. But I'm just saying, HBAR can come down to this level and still be intact. And then on the upside, if we see here, let me just get rid of all of these drawings right here. If we see, where HBAR is rejecting right now, that is a very important area. Very, very, very important area. And look what's happened. We flipped that support as resistance. Look now, we're in a bear flag, and now, we're in free fall. So, same concept right here. If you want to be bullish on HBAR, it needs to regain this 24 to 25 cent region. Then we would see a pushback to 30 cents. Until then, that's something that could very well happen. So that's my quick little view here on HBAR. Is XRP going to 160? If Bitcoin breaks below 85K, probably. Does a dramatic increase in circulating supply affect price? HBAR, for example, has been dramatically inflating its token. Not necessarily. Sometimes, yes, over time, sure, but unlocks don't always lead to price depreciation. They don't always lead to price depreciation. It all depends on what that supply does. It could just go into wallets and continue to hold, and it won't affect anything or anybody. So it's an important thing to look at. But okay, now let's cover the last two majors here, and then if you guys have any other last questions, feel free to throw them in. And as usual, be sure to, it looks like there's over 80 people in here, only 27 likes. Would appreciate if you guys hit that like button. I started this channel here about a month ago, and I'll continue to push out some content, at least weekly streams. And be sure to subscribe as well. Appreciate it, guys. And then, yeah, the next thing here, let's take a look here at Sol first. So Sol is obviously still one of those coins that look okay. It doesn't look completely terrible. But after deviating its previous high like this 2 times, it's questionable. Let's put it that way. It's very questionable. Trading below all major VWAPs. We can see all these major VWAP bands. Trading below all of them. Trading below the 50-day, 100-day EMA. Trading below the quarterly VWAP. Now it's like, to me, I'd be shocked if Sol doesn't go lower at this point. First target here is about 170. Oh, sure, that could be what we see. More so, if we get back down to this uptrend right here, that's the lowermost point we could see Sol go If Sol breaks below this area and accepts back below like 150, man, it's cooked for a bit. Sol's definitely cooked. I could see it do. I could see Sols do something like this. If this is what happens here, and we do go into a more prolonged bear trend until like Q3, I could see Sol do something like this. And, you know, that pushes us out until September, October. So, yeah, it's a very simple view on Sol, to be honest. Short term, it is definitely bearish. Midterm, it is kind of bearish. Long term, it's still in a bullish structure. I'm still holding my Sol down from $18 to $19, but you know I've been looking to cut some up here as well. I cut some back in this range, took some profit, but at this point it's like, you know, this is a big consolidation phase in Sol. You know, we could pop back up here, pop back there, do that. Sure, that's fine. You know, this is something that usually does eventually resolve upwards, but it's like resolving upwards could be in October of this year. You know, could be much, much farther away. And then on the upside, it's pretty simple. You know, Sol needs to regain its quarterly VWAP. Super simple stuff there. You know, just right here, when Sol was messing around with its quarterly VWAP, retested it, regained the top of the standard deviation band, bam, went on its next leg. So yeah, Sol here doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look that good. Short term, it does not look that good. This is not something you want to necessarily see. That yearly VWAP right there is also an important level. Look, entire bull trend held the yearly VWAP. Right when we lost it, you know, obviously we dropped 80-90%. Not going to happen this cycle, in my opinion, but you know, it gives you the idea of what happens when we lose these important VWAPs. Not to belabor my point, in the trading view, can you search HBAR market cap and look at weekly, compare it? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm fully aware of what you're talking about. Altcoin was a good one that I showed examples of. But like I said, you know, unless the supply is getting dumped, it doesn't necessarily cause lower prices. You know, when there's more supply, sure, but of course, did that really affect much? No. You know, HBAR went up 850%. Was the top gainer. Did you answer the question about Bitcoin dropping, possibly causing an alt season? I'm just going to be honest here, guys. We're not in that same environment. People want to call for alt season, this, that. You know, I see all these fractals, these cycle comparisons. Like, people need to realize, guys, we're not in that same environment. So rather than sitting here calling for alt season every single day, why don't we just hop on strength of an alt season? You know, seems like a better option to me. We can see right here, this is when an alt season happens. This is an alt season. 400% outperformance of total 3 versus Bitcoin. This right here is not an alt season. You know, who wants to call an alt season right here? You guys see what I mean here? It's like there's a time where to be predictive. You know, there's many times. Some of you guys have followed me for years. You guys know when I'm predictive. Right now, I don't see a reason to be calling alt season. Just, you know, maybe to get some clout to say you called the bottom, sure. But this is not alt season to me. No, this is not alt season to me. Look, I even put an emoji right there. Like, this is a pretty funny alt season we've had, guys. Like, this is an alt season. That's an alt season. It's like, you know, we want to call for an alt season. Bitcoin dominance needs to get back down here, and it needs to break structure. Then I'm going to call for an alt season. I don't care to be late. I don't care that I didn't call it at the top. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't care to miss the first 5 days of an alt season if it's going to be, 2 months of outperformance. So I think it's a pretty simple concept here. Like, people want to call for these alt seasons. Sure, call for them all you want, but all the alt season callers back here, they've been shredded. You know, and I gave a pretty preliminary view that it's like, hey, historically speaking, we look at, you know, history. January has triggered alt seasons. I shared all of that analysis. Was I guaranteeing an alt season? No. But was I was showing analysis that proved, historically speaking, Q1 after the halving year has led to an alt season. This time it hasn't. You know, alts made a new low against Bitcoin. We've never seen that after January. See January right here? Bam. Doesn't go back far enough, but if we look back over here on Bitcoin dominance, we could see right here, look at this. March, January, or January, February, alt season started. Look right here, January, alt season started. Here's January. Inverse alt season, guys. Completely inverse alt season. So yeah, I hope that, I hope you guys understand my approach here. Let me know if it's helpful. Let me know if it's helpful. Need that Bitcoin blow off top for true alt season? Historically, yes, that is also true. But also, too, guys, if you guys see my past streams, you guys have to realize we have over $40 billion of money locked in ETFs. Until we get an XRP, Doge, Litecoin, Sol ETF, that money cannot flow into alts. It can't flow into ABAX. It can't flow into XLM. It can't flow into Polkadot. It's a way different environment we're in. And the Fed just said that we're not going to have any quantitative easing, meaning we're not going to have any money printer for a long time. We're not going to have a big influx of capital. Back in 2021, we had massive monetary stimulus. If we put up the M2 money supply right here, let's see, US M2, we could see what happened. There was a big amount of money printing that happened here. Look at this. Bam. Look at that. Crazy increase, 74% increase. Look at this. 7% increase. The money supply is it's not in an expansive mode. And we've seen that here with the NASDAQ or the Russell 2K. We look at the Russell 2K here. Look at the Russell 2K. This is the first time, guys, that the Russell 2K has not made a new high throughout this. It's like, we see this right here. This was 2021 alt season. Started right here. Literally started right here. Look at this. December 2020. Bam. It happened right before. Same concept here, 2017. Expansive. Russell 2K is the altcoins of the stock market. What about right now? Nothing is expansive here. Well, does that make sense to everybody? Hope it does. Just a way different environment. And somebody asked me that the other day. Said fractals are cool, but if you ignore the environment we're in, they're not going to be cool and they don't work. And I think that people have been proving that. And people that still live off of fractals, it's fine. I'm not saying, I have so much analysis that was based on fractals that worked good. But we're in a different environment now, so I just want everyone to understand that. When the Fed starts buying is the start of alt season, maybe in March. Maybe, but he just said yesterday or 2 days ago that there's not going to be any quantitative easing. It's not going to have any of that in the near-term future. Nailing your points, thanks for the insight. Much appreciated, Fire Dog. Much appreciated. They don't turn on the money printer, the no alt season. I mean, it's kind of true. We're only going to see a secular alt season, which we've already seen, Have you covered solo built on XRPL? No, I have not. How about Trump tax cuts? That's great, but I don't know if that's enough to kind of cause a monetary stimulus into the markets. We could see. This content should be a multiple 100K subscriber count. Much appreciated there. Yeah, eventually. Like I said, I launched this channel a month ago, so if you guys hit that like button and subscribe, much appreciated. I do this all for free for right now. Just love to share my analysis and educate everybody. Okay, so I know we're going off on tangents here, apologies, but hope you guys enjoy them. The last few things I want to cover here is XRP and Ethereum, and then I'll cover your guys' altcoin requests as well. We look at XRP here. We see that this is obviously pretty tight consolidation, and where's it at? In the perfect innermost value area. Perfect innermost value area. And back to the person that said that, price usually goes back to, gaps in value. It's not necessarily true, and probably 20% of the time. Look, when we lost this level, what did we do? We went right back to the peak of the previous value area. This price didn't care about this. Why? It moved through fast. It's going to move through fast again. Move through fast again. It's called liquidity voids. Something I've been using literally since 2018. I used to have different terms for them, and I didn't use profiles to kind of show them. I only looked at price. I looked at when price moved very fast, and that showed me it was not a time that value was established. It was an imbalance of buyers and sellers. Nobody agreed on price throughout that region. And if you're doubting the volume profiles, look what happened here. XRP dropped 40%, and where did it stabilize? It stabilized in the perfect, most inner point of control value area that's created since the election. And look where it's still at right now. I could even, this needs to be adjusted a little bit more, but look at that orange line. That's point of control. That's the highest traded volume area since the election, 241. We're at 242 right now. So it shows that price is in perfect equilibrium right now. It's waiting for any buyers or sellers to step in. Buyers step in, sellers step in. It's a pretty simple thing. I'll keep it short here with XRP. There's really not much for me to say here, guys. You know, I could sit here and predict what's going to happen. I showed you my analysis on Bitcoin. Technically speaking, I'm not a big guy on patterns, but this is a bearish pennant. You know, this is a bearish pennant. You don't necessarily want to see price just do this after a big liquidation. You want to see it, you know, do that and then do that and then do this. It's just to go sideways. It's not necessarily the most bullish view. And then yet again, it's like I told you guys the last few days, if XRP accepts above 250, we're going to get a pushback to 270. So, you know, you guys see these levels I share. Look at the 250 range. See how there's been nothing? Price has not accepted above that range. See that right there? 250 range. No acceptance above that. We accept above that, I'll be looking for longs back to 270. That is, to me, that's a structure break. You know, right now I'm more bearish biased. Definitely more bearish bias right now. So just from everything I've showed. So that's my view on XRP. I think XRP can come back down to like 215, 220 and be fine. And if Bitcoin does that 85K range, we could hope that XRP holds up well and it does something like this. That would be our best scenario. You know, if XRP, I said this on my last stream, if XRP breaks below this area, it's coming back down to like 150 to 130. Then at that point, you know, things are very questionable. Everything's broke. Just a very questionable future for what's happening there. And all the fractals are broke. You know, no more looking at 2017 or 2018. Everything would be broke. Okay, Ethereum. Not much really to say here on Ethereum besides, you know, what happened? Well, it broke its 3,000 day uptrend that I covered back in August of 2023 or 2024. Or what was this? Yeah, 2,900 day uptrend. 2,900 day uptrend. Broke it right here, retested it as resistance. Now look, now we're teetering on our entire bull market uptrend. Not a good look, Ethereum. You know, not a good look. And this is why, in my opinion, it's like, it's a hard time because when I see this wick here on Ethereum, you'd think that even if we're going lower, we would get something like this first. You know, so that's where that's where it makes this even harder. And you know, as I said in the beginning of the stream, I wanted to give you guys a view of how I'm looking at this market and why it's a confusing time. I shared all of the data, and it's like if Bitcoin does do that 85K or if it breaks 90K, maybe Ethereum just does that. And maybe it gets itself up, and maybe that's just a bearish retest. You know, that's why I'm not a big advocate of looking farther than just like a week or two in the future right now. You know, back down here, I was looking far in the future. Back down here, I was, or up here, I was, you know. But right now, I don't know, I just don't see that. I don't see the value in looking like 5 months ahead. I don't really see that right now. It's like, just play the chart as it shows right now, you know. Okay, let's see what else you guys got here. Do you see Bitcoin hitting its cycle low this month before we get a reversal? If it gets its act going right now, yeah. What is it, February 13th? Yeah, by February 20th, we could see 85K. If it needs to break the range, and it's going to do that, we could see the low by, you know, third week. You know, we could see the low by third week of February for sure. Manwich first RWA token on XRPL. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. Definitely would love to check it out. Do some research on that. Check out OTHERS.D. Yeah, I'll take a look at OTHERS.D. So yeah, I think I covered most of the stuff I wanted to here, guys. So if you guys have any other chart requests, I don't remember all the ones you guys asked for, but feel free to throw those in now. Would love, and just throw in any other questions about anything. Would love to cover those. Would love to cover those. So OTHERS.D here, you know, I look at this and it's like, okay, what happened? Well, it looks to me like we just broke a, you know, multi-year uptrend. That's what it looks like to me. Get rid of that on a weekly chart. Yeah, it's like, not sure how that looks bullish to anybody. No, I don't use trend lines too much, but like on a long-term scale like this, these trend lines work. So yet again, it's like I'll call for an alt season. I'll call for altcoin outperformance when we could regain this trend. And we can create a deviation here. Right now, this is the breakdown. We want to SFP, swing failure pattern this? Sure, I'd love to see that. That's what I would need to see first, though. We see that, we regain this uptrend, then we're in safe territory. Right now, we're not in safe territory. You know, this is a pretty bearish territory, to be honest, on others' dominance. General thoughts on ONDO? I think ONDO's a great project. I think it could do very well, honestly. And you know, I was showing this spot buying was happening for a long time. I'm pretty sure it actually slowed down. No, it hasn't even slowed down. There's still crazy spot buying happening on ONDO. I'm still holding ONDO, but to be honest, this looks like crap. This does not look that good. You know, ONDO, I could see fill this wick and just do that again. We're gonna go lower. So I do like ONDO, and the spot buying here makes it attractive, but the chart is not the best looking right now, and it's of course probably going to still follow the rest of the market, you know, fortunately. So I do like ONDO though. I think it's a great project. I think RWA is the future. Tokenized assets, it is 100% the future, guys. Spot holders change your perspective versus traders. I'm not sure what you mean there, Firedog. Maybe you could elaborate. ADA? Yeah, let's take a look here at ADA. Okay, so ADA here. I mean, ADA here doesn't look that bad to me. You know, it doesn't look terrible to me. It looks a lot better than some of these coins. But you know, what we need to see is we need to see that level that we broke down get regained. Oh, this is a resistance area right now. These are two large resistance areas, so it's like right now we're flipping previous support to resistance. You need to see ADA back above like 80, 85 cents for it to be back in a bullish short-term territory. But once again, it's like, here's a great example. Like this wick, guys, if Bitcoin breaks the 90K region, I don't think ADA is going to break this low. I think Bitcoin would need to break well below 87,000, 86, 85K. Like if Bitcoin does that breakdown, ADA is probably going to look something like that. So yet again, I still believe that these, like if the market's going higher in the summer or Q3, these should be the lows on most of these coins, to be honest. Some of the coins don't have wicks like that. Like Sol will probably go lower. But the coins that have these massive wicks, I would tend to believe that those were going to hold, actually. So yeah. There's so much opium pumping all the time by caps, all the caps guys. Charlie. Yeah. I hope you guys find that funny. It is true. It's totally true. The people that are on X that talk in all caps, you know, they say this, they say that. It's like it's just all hopium. You know, it's all hopium. Just be careful if you guys are on X like that. You know, most of these people, they're just farming engagement. Like, I'd probably have 100,000 followers if I was every day to saying XRP was going to $5. Well, it's sad. You know, I share the rawest data, rawest analysis. Don't shill anything. And yeah, I've seen some good growth recently, but more so, it's like if I was like this super bullish hopium, like you know, crazy, to the moon type guy, I'd probably have 50,000 followers already. So it's pretty sad, but it's the nature of humans, I guess. Okay, AXL. Yeah, we'll take a look at AXL. I'm not even sure what that is. Axler. Ooh. Oh man. AXL looks a little bit cooked here. Oh. You look, we put a Fibonacci retracement on here. We never want to see it retrace 60% of the move. What did it do? It retraced 60 to 70% of the move. This to me looks cooked, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. This is not, it's not a coin I want to be involved in. Once again, flipping previous support to resistance right now. For it to be back in a safe territory, it needs to regain the 50 cent mark. I'll keep it that simple. Otherwise, these lows are not safe. This wick is not big enough either. We could just see it bleed right back down. Crow? Yeah, we'll take a look at Crow. Ooh. Similar concept here. So this is where I like to use Fibonacci. I'll look if it retraced 70% of the move or not. And look, we're right at that, like that last level where it's like, if it breaks the 0.786, you know, just not really what you want to see in an uptrending market. You know, really, you would want to see this hold and then see that. So, I mean, no, the Crow looks like it's about to imminently go lower. Maybe it just does that and it deviates. But another thing, Crow does not look that good at all. Not look at all. It's you look at Crow compared to like XRP, look at the difference there. It's more of a hindsight type view, but still, it's like structure's not broken on XRP. On Crow, structure's broken. Structure is definitely broken. Velo, which Velo? I'm assuming it's this, not the Velodrome. So we'll look at this Velo here. No, this Velo here actually doesn't look that bad. See if we can get, oh, that's a Coinbase version. Let's see if we can get another version here. Some data, perfect. Let's see what's looking at the VWAPs here. Okay, so we're still holding the early VWAP. Rejecting the quarterly. We just rejected the quarterly though. Not a good look. Same concept here. You know, we're basically seeing large SR flips right now. You know, previous support for, what is this, 50 days, and then, you know, look what happens. We just rejected that previous support 2 times. You know, 2 times. So, yeah, I mean, uptrend here is still intact, what I can see. And then let's look at some moving averages here. Cooked on the moving averages. Let's see the dailies. Yeah, cooked on those as well. Similar concept to Bitcoin, actually. So simply put, we're in bearish territory on Velo until these levels can be regained. Until the two-third of a cent can be regained. This is a bearish chart right here. Continue to see further downfall. When you discuss these topics and break down or break up points, do you care for your spot bags? When will you get concerned for spot bags? Are you more of a trader point of view? Yeah, it's a hard one. You know, like something like most of my spot holdings have been XRP and Sol. So, you know, I'm sitting on a lot of unrealized gains there. You know, those coins are up hundreds and hundreds of percent. So I'm not too concerned because like I said, I believe this market's going higher. I do believe that this market is going higher, guys. Well, we have regulation, we have ETFs coming. I don't think that this market is cooked for like 4 years, like some people might believe, 3 years. I don't believe that. I still believe Bitcoin is going to go higher. Yeah, I believe Bitcoin is going to go higher. It might just not happen for 6 months or a year. So, you know, that's kind of the way I view that. But short term, yeah, it's all about trading for me. You cover yeah, I did cover Ethereum and XRP. How long did it take you to become what you would consider a competent trader? You know, it's a hard question. I wouldn't even consider myself a pro, you know, expert trader. Even I don't think anyone ever becomes a pro expert trader. Everyone always has to continue to evolve and continue to, you know, they can continue to adapt. So like, I'm gonna be honest, it took years and years. You know, I'm still improving every day. Trading is not an easy thing. There was a study done with 17 years of Taiwan stock data, I think it's covering 40 million trades. Their consensus was that 99% of retail traders are never consistently profitable. Only 1% of retail traders are consistently profitable. Trading is a very hard game, guys. It is a very, very, very hard game. Even if you see success for 3 months, 6 months, or a year, to be consistently profitable over a multi-year time frame is a very hard thing to do. You could do it, but it takes a lot of trial and error. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of perseverance, and it takes a lot of adapting. My best view of it. XAI, I'm not going to look at small caps, guys. I'll look at anything in the top 50, to be honest. So I'll look at hype. I'm not someone who really looks at these small caps here. Hype looks really good. Hype looks really, really good. Well, this is a coin that a lot of people has a lot of mind share on. Looks good to me. It's not terribly bearish structure. But as funny as it sounds, when you have such a perfect level like this, it's like, okay, as long as it's being held, you know, it's fine. It's looking fine. That level gets lost at $22, $22 to $23. I'd be looking out below. Very simple analysis on that. Very, very simple. And then for it to kind of, you know, see some really, really high upwards moves, we need to break this pattern of lower highs. So, you know, that 27 mark would probably push us higher. Best way to put it. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. If you guys have any more things, feel free to throw them in. Take a look here at Litecoin. You know, Litecoin has been one of those coins that have actually been holding up decent. Let's see if I could find my analysis here. I never updated it, but I had a beautiful analysis here. Let's see if I could find it. What would it be on? Maybe the Binance chart. Yeah, the Binance chart. So I posted this fractal analysis probably back in July of last year, and it actually played out. I never updated it, but it was looking at this fractal, and it was showing like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then uptrend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uptrend. So like, I don't know, Litecoin doesn't look that bad, to be honest. As funny as it sounds, like Litecoin and Monero are like two of the best looking coins. It's hilarious, actually. It is actually hilarious. Like, so yeah, Litecoin does not look bad at all. Look, it's even flipping that, you know, multi-year downtrend resistance as support. So good look. Very good look on Litecoin. I'm actually liking Litecoin here. This is bizarre. Even understand what's going on here with Litecoin. We draw a little pattern we have right here. Little nice pattern here. Simple breakout. I'll be waiting for a simple breakout here. And one other one is funny, but XMR. I don't know what's up with XMR, but it's like, thing looks good. Thing looks really good. Really, really good. Breaking out of a 2-year consolidation phase, you know, ready to go higher. Pretty interesting stuff. Just give me 1 second here. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Litecoin doesn't look bad at all. And if you guys have seen my top 100, top 150 total 2 list, I know Hunter in the comments. Few other of my followers, talk to them. They found some good success in it, just finding trades. So if you haven't looked it up in my profile, top 150 divided by total 2, great list right there. Really an awesome list. Let's see if we got Litecoin on here. Yeah, like look at Litecoin compared to the rest of the market. Even though it's been getting shredded, it's like you look at the short-term view right here. I mean, look at Litecoin. You know, if you were looking at this list here, you know, you would have been able to find a trade here. How? Simple. You know, look at these tapped lows and these tapped highs right here. Breakout, bam. You know, even if you aren't a breakout trader, 13% right there compared to the rest of the market. So definitely take a look at this. This is showing you what's outperforming and what's not. Really important thing to do right now. Sologenics, I'll take a look at Solo. Even though I don't look at small caps, I'll take a quick look at Solo. See what this thing's looking like here. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that's a big pump right there. 1000%. Same concept here, though. Now, look at this. It's flipping previous support to resistance. So, very simple view on Solo. Bearish until 45 cent can be regained. Very simple. Bearish until 45 cent can be regained. Link, I'll take a look at Link. Link's been one of my favorite coins, honestly. Link's such an important coin, but the chart looks terrible. Oh man, same concept. I'm sure you guys can see, you know, I have very complicated analysis and then very simple analysis. It's like, look at this. You know, we're retesting previous support as resistance right here. So very similar view. I throw a volume profile on top. You know, give us a kind of a view where we need to regain. Let's see where that's at. Oh, I'm on the no volume chart here. Ooh, we're teetering on the yearly VWAP as well. So yeah, you know, back to value area would be about $22. It's a big level, but like we would need to regain that $20 range to be in safe territory. As of right now, we're in dangerous territory that could see further downfall at any time. See further downfall at any time. But I do like Link for a, you know, a longer term chart. Oh wow, what's going on here with Tell? Wow, interesting stuff. Huh. Yeah, no, this is interesting. You know, when you find a coin like this throughout the abyss, I mean, this is pretty interesting. We just broke out of like a, I don't even know, kind of an ascending triangle, some type of consolidation, accumulation, continuation pattern. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. I would look for right where we're at right now. I can even say that 0.008 is, if we break that, this thing could go for a ride back to like, this thing could go for like a 50% ride actually. Just be careful that this is not a deviation. If we accept back below this resistance, watch out. And you know, if I was trading this coin, I'd be looking for shorts back down to that range right there. Thanks for the Litecoin analysis. Was also interested in buying Ohm, but the chart looks weird. I would be careful of Ohm. Ohm's been a perp driven trade. Sure, it could continue to happen, but look, if we look here, Ohm has actually been perp driven. Look at Spot. Spot's been selling off. Look at perps. Perps have been buying. So this is a perp driven move, not too sustainable. Sure, it can continue to go higher, but like, I don't know. I'm not interested in getting involved in something that is up 27,000% in the past year. Not too interested in it, to be honest, even if it goes higher. Check ETH Bitcoin. ETH Bitcoin. Oh man. I don't even know the last time I looked at this chart here that I had. Look at that. Oh man. That broke its descending channel. Wow. I don't even know what to say about this chart. On to that point though, you guys might find this interesting. This. You guys will like this one here. Back to the order book skew here. This is really, really cool stuff. So if we look here, look at what happened when we had an historical ass skew. Look at this, guys. You guys see this right here? See how this was a historical ass skew? We had 60,000 more Ethereum wanting to get sold than bought within a 50% range. Never seen before in the past 5-6 years. What happened? Tanked, the largest wick in history. Look at that. 40% drop, all based on looking at the ask and bid skew. This type of stuff I love. But I was telling you guys, this is a very powerful indicator right here. Look at how many people wanted to sell Ethereum up here. How cool is that? Isn't that pretty cool? I think it's pretty cool. Same thing right here. Look at that. Historical ass skew before we had this. Look at that right there. Ethereum dropped 40% after. You see that right there? This shows that a market is just an order book. Nothing more. Study the order book if you want to understand the market. Really what it is. It's super, just an awesome way to look at the market. So, all right, guys, we're going on about an hour and 40 minutes here. I've been rambling about some random stuff, but obviously I hope it's of value. I think I covered everything mainly that I wanted to here. I guess the last thing to cover here is if we look here at the NASDAQ, I've been posting about this the last few weeks, and I said that this is probably going to push higher, and it just did today. So what I'd be watching here is for a deviation. That's going to trigger that next low. But if this just keeps ramping up, Bitcoin might be saved. Bitcoin might not do that pullback that we've been talking about. Bitcoin totally might save itself. Also, just to reiterate what I said, guys, I mean, this is, Very questionable, put it that way. I shared all of the analysis why. I gave you guys all the reasons why. And I gave you guys a simple view. It's like, you know, if Bitcoin regains this 98 to 95 and it's trading above it, you know, it's accepting above it, I think it's fine for now, you know? We're not in territory at that point for imminent further downfall. You know, I would release my cautionary approach if Bitcoin regains 98, 98, 5, 99. Until then, for all the reasons shown, be cautious. Be cautious of a range breakdown. That's all I'm saying. You know, be cautious. I hope that makes sense. Thor. I don't even know what to say about Thor. I'm not too totally sure about that. I guess I'll just take a few more minutes, guys. Throw in your last few things. I'll take a few more. BNB here looks pretty good, actually. We go on to the Binance chart here with some volume. Look at that. Yearly VWAP held perfectly as support. Now we're wrestling with the quarterly VWAP. Wrestling with the quarterly VWAP right here. So similar concept though. It's like, you know, we draw a downtrend. Look where we got rejected. A simple market structure right here. If BNB can accept above that, might be in good territory to outperform the rest of the market, you know? Yeah. At this point, Orange Juice is outperforming ETH. Let's see if Orange Juice has a, okay, it has a CFD. Let's see. Oh my. Here, let's do something funny real quick, guys. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Ethereum. Orange Juice. Let's denominate Ethereum in orange juice. Oh man. Oh man. If you would have bought orange juice back in 2021, you would have outperformed Ethereum by 85%. 85%. How funny is that? Very, very funny stuff. But okay, guys, what is it that you look at when trying to predict a top? There's a lot of things. Maybe ask me that in my next stream earlier on. I'd love to kind of, you know, spend more time on that. Absolutely love to do that. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that stream. Hope you guys learned something. Don't forget, hit the like button. It's like only 59 likes. Looks like we had a few hundred people in here. And then subscribe. You know, I'll continue to do these probably weekly streams here. And yeah, like ONDO, I don't know. This is, even with all the spot buying, it's like, this doesn't look good. It's not a bullish structure right there. Probably could see further breakdown here. The market's just teetering on the edge. You know, when we see structure like this, it's literally right before that happens, or it's right before that happens. It's funny, but it's true. It's like, you know, we see structure like that. That's kind of how we play those moves, to be honest. So yeah, beyond that, I think I've really covered everything else. Let's see what else I had to cover here. No, same concept. We're trading below all the VWAPs. You know, trading below the point of control since the election. Trading below the quarterly VWAP, rejecting. Also lose the election VWAP. Let's see. Last thing here, just a clean view of the election VWAP. I mean, look at this, guys. How many times this election VWAP has held us up? If this is the low and we just go higher from here, props to the election VWAP. It did its job. Let's put it the best way. It did its job. I mean, look at that. Crazy amount of testing on that. But yeah, I think I covered everything, guys. I hope you guys, you know, got something from this at least. Not exciting, of course. You know, this has been one of the most boring times in months. What I wanted to do is walk you through my thought process and how I'm viewing this market and the levels I'm willing to play and the scenarios that I'm, you know, prepared for. You know, I could sit here and just be bullish, and that's fine. But as a trader, you always need to prioritize risk management. And being super bullish here when I showed all these bearish signs we have. Whether they play out or not, there are many bearish signs. And if I would ignore those bearish signs, that would be putting myself in a position that, you know, wouldn't be the best. It's not the best position to put myself in. Ignore those bearish signs right there. So as we can see, price is compressing. It's ready for something. And, you know, the levels I've shown are pretty simple. Very, very simple levels here. So yeah, appreciate everybody. Any last questions? No more chart requests, but any last questions, throw them in. About an hour and 40-minute stream here. Great, hopefully great education for you all. For you guys to understand how someone like me is viewing this market, you know? So yeah. One saved a gaggle of orphan children from a burning building while also teaching them about the importance of order books and auction market theory. I love that, Hunter. Awesome breakdown there. Thanks for joining as always. Much appreciated, everybody. So yeah, hopefully next stream is going to probably be sometime next week. Next stream will definitely be sometime next week. So keep an eye for that. I might come out with a video here in between then. Maybe about market makers, maybe about order flow more. Looking to do some more videos here. But obviously this is a boring time. Super boring time. But it's probably coming to an end here probably pretty soon. So, you know, I look forward to the streams where we really have a lot of stuff to talk about. Here, we don't have too much to talk about, you know. It's just kind of breaking it all down. And the last thing I'll say is just beware of those people who talk in all caps. You know, beware of them. Beware of them. What trading view package would you recommend? It all depends on you. You know, Pro's fine. I have premium just because I have some invite only scripts, and then I also like to use second charts sometimes. And I like to add, you know, the spaghetti charts that I create. I need to be able to add multiple indicators to them. So we see the spaghetti right here. See the spaghetti. I think you need premium to be able to be able to do that. So yeah, everybody. I think that's all. I think that is all that I have for today. Thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe on your way out, and look forward to the next one.